Hi, we finally hit the last race stone blessing combination. After that we'll just reserve a spot for a pure archer build, and then I'll start to actually play all these characters. Well, this character is an Altmer. The characteristics of Altmer in AZT are the following. They get 15% reduced spell cost. They get 5% increased magnitude on spells. They get 5% increased duration of spells. They get plus 15 magicka, fortify effect, and then another plus 15 at level 10, 25 and 50. They get a passive magicka regeneration, starting at 0.4 at level 1, and then increasing at level 10, 25 and 50. They get 10% discount on enchanting cost, meaning the charge of their enchanted weapon will consume at a slower rate, and they get minus 15% magicka resistance, which is not ideal, but is definitely more manageable than regular Requiem 40% magicka weakness. They still retain their low physical statistics. The 85 of stamina is particularly painful in the early game, since, well, you'll get the most... oh shit, why do I have the effect? Wait a moment. As I said, okay, the mod sometimes bugs. Well, I was saying about oh, the 85 of stamina will be painful in the early level, since they also get the maximum stamina drain from walking, from running. As you can see, just moving around is impacting, has an impact on your stamina. So, my stone, as you can see by my abnormal quantity of magicka, my stone is the Atronach stone. The Atronach stone is modified in AZT. You get only 5% chance of spell absorption, but you get plus 450 magicka, and in AZT actually there are some ways to recover magicka other than potions while you have the Atronach stone. Those ways are the resting all the bonuses that gives you magicka are halved when you have the Atronach stone, but they are still on. For example, these bonus provided by well rested will still give you half of the magicka per second. The magicka regeneration of the Altmer, of which I was talking earlier, also apply at a reduced rate. Also, the bonus for having for being hydrated. I'll just console in some bottle of water. I forgot. Also, this bonus will give you a little magicka regeneration. And finally, the Stone of the Atronach gives you you lose less magicka when you are hit by some damage, by normal rules of Requiem. You receive roughly half of the magica damage, which coupled with the fact that you can actually regenerate some stamina out of combat without needing to use potions, means that you have and you can do some burst casting in combat and then regenerate it slowly for the remaining day. As you have seen, my spell without armor costed about 85, and in 2 minutes I gained it back. So it's not that bad, especially if you are an Altmer. My blessing is the blessing of Arcray, which I picked mostly because of the team. In the blessing of Arcray basically gives you increased damage and spell magnitude. Gives increase when you are on low health. Basically, you get a bonus for every 10% missing health, and these bonuses work only in combat to avoid potential exploit with the Transmute Blood spell. Also, Arcray will give you some minor armor rating bonus for killing undead. The perk which I took Restoration, Heavy Armor and One-Handed for a start. I will proceed with Alteration and probably I will heavily perk Heavy Armor, One-Handed and Restoration and Alteration. I'll keep not many skills since I need high efficiency, especially from the magic skill, since I have the Atronach Stone, which is, in my opinion, is not as good as the Mage Stone, but it can lead to some interesting builds. From Alteration in particular, I'm planning to specialize myself in Absorb spell. AZT have these 4 perks, which increase the efficiency of Drain spell and the efficiency of Transmute Blood. All spells which I'll try to heavily use with this character. So, as you can see, that's very perk intensive, so I'll try to not develop too many skills. And that's about it for the build. With this character, I can't actually fight anything. Oh, right. I suggest Stamina Stew for the early level, otherwise managing your stamina will be very, very difficult. This build cannot actually fight bandits at level 1. It can fight wolves as long as they are few. So I'll probably have to grind my way through the early level. I mean, there's absolutely no chance that I can fight someone, unless it happens to be, an archer. Maybe I could fight an archer thanks to the ward and the heavy armor. So I will just give a brief tour of the things around, the notable things around here. Well, right now I'll just go to fight the wolves that are on the road here, which for some mods they become 4 instead of 3, and that makes them a little bit more complex to deal with, but I should prevail with mace and ward. I had to interrupt the recording for a moment, then when I actually did the episode I forgot to restart it, so here we are again. Well, I was saying about the combat with the wolves. You should try to find a corner to avoid the wolves attacking you on the flank. And it's a good idea to start to use a potion of stamina and a potion of health right at the start of the combat, when they start aggroing you, like now. You'll thank me later. Believe me. Okay. Oh well, this time they used a pretty peculiar order of attack, so you probably won't have... Oh, well, you can still see that that was useful. And then you can see that the increased damage, the original was like 72, I think. But well, here we have our dead wolves. In the previous combat, I mean before, when I wasn't recording, I didn't use the potions, and it occurred me after that that it would have been a good idea. The previous combat I finished with like no health at all. Also I was less lucky on the order of attack of the wolves. Well, as you can see, I can't exactly show much combat with this character early on, but I'll try to show you some interesting things that you can find here. As you can see, here you can find, this is the spot of random encounter. Here with minor arcana you can basically nearly always find a treasure hunter body, at the first time at least. A treasure hunter have a treasure hunter note, which will direct you in a usual tough area with a pretty good reward. Basically it's an object enchanted with the best enchant of his kind. I mean that you can find. So like 20% cost reduction, plus 60 stamina, with the secondary effect of immunity to paralysis and things like that. Also there are some special gloves for the various school of magic, which have cost reduction and enhanced regeneration, magic regeneration on the glove slot, which are nice. If you happen to roll the right one with the right character. Well, another thing that could be interesting to show around here is the Talos Shrine. At the Talos Shrine you can find a dead Talmar, which always have a elven sword, an elven dagger, and a random enchanted item, which could be a nice way to kickstart your character if you roll the right one. Also, the Talmar have the Talmar gloves, which in AZT are always enchanted with a shield enchant, which is the enchant which gives you increased armor rating. But in AZT it will also there are two versions of the shield enchant. One which gives you additional armor rating and 15% damage reduction against power attack, which is the version you'll find on the gauntlets. And another which gives you 25% discount on power attack cost, which you can find in other pieces of armor. The reason why it's particularly good is that because you can disenchant it and apply it to another object, as usual. And the secondary effect is static and doesn't stack with similar enchantment. So basically you can, even if you have no enchanting skill, you can find, I mean, you can get alchemy, not very useful. You can get some good value out of it. For fighting wolves, actually, an elven sword is pretty much better, because it's faster. The property of elven weapon in AZT is that they do less damage, but they are faster. And that's pretty important against wolves. Also, the armor penetration of the mace is not of any use against them. So the sword is pretty much a pretty straight upgrade to that, at least for fighting animals. Here on the shore of the lake you can find a group of mud crab and slaughterfish fighting each other. They won't basically pose you a threat, but they're nice experience if you need to grind out your first levels. Right here the necromancer is an hostile, because she is an interesting NPC. Here you can find a conjuration treatise, which can be useful for starting the game, if you also have interesting NPCs, otherwise the necromancer is not exactly the best opponent to deal with early on. In the inside of the forest there are some wolves, but I would advise against provoking them. As I said before, here you can find some mud crab and slaughterfish fighting each other. Also here you can find, you can see the absolute speed. Also, being faster, you consume less stamina, because the stamina consumption is tied to the time of the swing. So with a diminished time of swinging, you'll also get reduced stamina cost, which is nice, especially for this character, considering that you basically have to watch closely over your stamina. That said, let's try to actually fight those wolves. Well, I mean, my character is alive anyway. That's just to show you some fight. The other character finishes the combat with very low health, and I was using the mace, which was the wrong choice. The sword in this particular combat is better. I should try to find a good place to hold my fight. I think that against this rock it's a pretty good place, so let's start. Remember to drink your 2 potions, you'll thank me later. You can see that I'm consuming way less stamina and doing way more damage. So the sword here is clearly the best pick. Before I also found some other 2 wolves. Maybe this time they didn't spawn. Another bad thing to cool definition. Another bad thing of having low stamina and magic and health is that you can't open chests. So you'll have to leave quite a lot of chests lying around. And well, last interesting thing around here is this woodcutter. Oh wow! Oh, this woodcutter who have some random loot, and the woodman friend, which is an iron axe. Which doesn't even have a custom skin. Well, I thought so. I mean, it was like that when I was using Legacy of the Dragonborn, but now I'm not using it. So that's it for this character. I'll probably have something better to show you when I level up a bit and make some money to be actually able to fight. So let's see you on the next episode with the last build I have to show, and then I'll proceed to actually play all these characters. Bye!